There seems to be a lot of confusion between the difference of codependent, empathic people or empaths, and then people with narcissism. The differences are so integral to understanding what kind of a partner you're with, so I want to go through them. First of all, let's start out with the codependent people. Codependent folks are often highly sensitive people. Okay, they are just sensitive. They're sensitive to what's said. They're sensitive to their surroundings and who they're with. They're people pleasers most of the time. They defer self-care, their personal self-care, to take care of others, and they have low self-esteem. Anyone in this extreme would not be a healthy partner. Okay, now let's go to the empathic people. And empathic people can be good, and it's on a scale like everything else. So you want to be careful with this one, because when you're with an empathic person, it doesn't mean that they're not a great partner, and it doesn't mean they're unhealthy. It just means they're going to need more time to take care of themselves. Okay, they need to feel needed. They're sensitive to criticism, very sensitive to it. They have enmeshed relationships, so their boundaries are not necessarily appropriate or well-formed. And this is one of the components that if you take it to this kind of person to an extreme, they can become unhealthy. They're insecure. They have abandonment fear. Somewhere in their past, someone important to them abandoned them. And that's why you have to talk to them about any issue. You're going to be out of the picture. If you're with this person, it's very important to discuss it up front. And they have an over-reliance on others. Okay, that's the empath. Okay, an empathic person. I'm not necessarily, because when I think of an empath, I think of a whole spectrum of different behaviors. This is more with someone who is empathic, and maybe empathic to extreme. Okay, now let's talk about narcissism, because remember, narcissism loves these two groups because they can mold them, they can shape them, they can make them feel guilty, they can, bottom line, manipulate them. So they're takers. They lack empathy. They have an inflated sense of self-importance, and they have an inflated sense of entitlement. So now you can see why these three groups usually are found together, because the narcissism is fed, their ego is totally on fire by an empathic person or by a codependent person. So if you identify with any of these criteria, it's really important that you talk to a mental health professional, because more than likely you're having struggles in your relationship that may not make sense to you, but you know they're not healthy.